Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Hey, That's Easy. I'm your host, Lawton Luntz. This episode features guests whose natural talent has landed them a career. Tonight, we have a broadcaster, an artist, and a coach, all incredibly talented individuals. Joining me is my co-host, Ava. Welcome. There's an old saying that if you do what you love, you will never have to work a day in your life. Many might still be figuring out what that is, but those that have the God-given talents may find their way sooner.
Wow, I wish I was born with some of those, but I can tell you, if working all the time, 24/7 is what we love, Lawton, we should be pretty super happy, huh? We're two of the busiest people I know, so I guess it makes life interesting. Thank you, everyone.
Never a dull moment. That is for sure. We have some great guests tonight. Happy to be doing the show again. This is my first time doing the show from Virginia. So that's kind of a new start.
Great. Welcome to Virginia, except I'm in Philadelphia. So
but actually, I think I'm closer to you now, in theory.
That's kind of cool. All the filming we can do, all the possibilities. So I'm very excited to have you closer.
Yes. And one day I will have a background that rivals yours. You always have great backgrounds. So one of these days I'm going to outdo you on one of these shows. You're see.
Pretty sparse today. I was going to say, pretty sparse, but, a blank slate, right? Fresh beginning.
Yeah. Like I said, we just relocated a month ago. So all in good time. Maybe for the October episode. We'll see.
That could not have been easy for you. I know with your kids and work and that transition. So, yes.
What I will say is this. For anyone considering a relocation across the country or many hours away, if you are not a patient person or you expect things to go exactly the way you thought they were, you are in for a real treat. Good thing I'm pretty patient, didn't get too frustrated, but lots of twists and turns, that's for sure, with the whole relocation. But hey, it's been great. It's been great so far. And so far, so good. Virginia's treated us pretty well.
Well, I've been seeing all the exciting things you've been doing. I think we keep in touch on social media, basically, until we do our show. So I'm really excited to hear about some of those things tonight.
And you don't sell yourself short. We're going to talk about a few of those things, not only from my standpoint, your standpoint, but later guests on the show. Lots of exciting things going on. Well, coming up specifically on this episode, the coach to incredible humans, Dearic Jackson, joins us later. But first, an artist whose work has really blessed many, including some celebrities. Mm-hmm. Let's welcome Channyn Gallegos to Hey, That's Easy. What's up, Channyn?
Channyn. Awesome.
Channyn, let's begin with the start of your artistic journey. When did you know that you had a talent that could potentially make you money?
Make me money? I don't know. Well, I went through a pretty rough divorce. I escaped domestic violence, and I left with 4 children. And at the end of it, I was told I would never make it on my own. And I set out to prove them wrong. And, I poured my heart and soul into my art, and here I am.
See, that's the theme of the show. Just fall into it. A lot of times you have money-making abilities and you have all this talent, and you got to really channel it the right way. What was one of the first pieces that you did that actually got some attention?
I think there was a piece that I did for an auction, and I put it up to help raise money for somebody. It was just on a whim, and they asked me if I had something. I said sure, and when it went up for auction, I got 500 bids. And I was shocked and amazed. And I thought, well, maybe I can do these and start selling them. And it took off. So
we're featuring some of your art there on the screen, and
some of those silly pieces.
Be careful, because Ava's quite she loves she loves some art and artistic things.
I don't even
and all kinds of stuff.
Cannot touch Channyn with a 10-foot pole, but I do remember her always being artistic. And I mean, her diversity is what's so amazing to me, because she can flip around. I remember she made masks during the pandemic when it first started. I saw that. They weren't just the thrown together masks that you saw some people picking up a YouTube video making. They were designer masks that she just started making to help out. So I've just been really impressed watching her kind of from afar, because it's been pretty hard to get together with my friends and family. But yes, I mean, you've always been artistic from what I could tell. And just the fact that you do so many different things, like the Oreo cookies. Wow. Where did you even get the idea to make sculptures and Oreo cookies? I mean,
it was a story. Again, I was like just starting out on my own as a single mom, and I had the kids with me in my bed, and we were eating cookies and watching cartoons, and one of my son bit his cookie and he said, "Look, I made a moon. What can you make?" Because it came out crescent shaped when he bit it. And I said, "Well, let's see." And I just took it and I started carving it with like a little toothpick. And I made like a Lady and the Tramp like scene into it. And then they kept saying, "Do more, do more." So I kept doing more and more. And I ended up posting them on Facebook, and somehow they got to actual Oreo. And it's their 100th anniversary at the time. And one day I just came home and there was this box, like, I don't know, it was like 4 feet wide. And it was from Oreo Cookie. And they sent me all this swag and these cups and these cookie cutters and all these things. And they were like, "You're an ambassador for our 100th anniversary. Congratulations." And I was like, wow, I didn't even know I entered anything. So for a whole year, I got to carve Oreo cookies for fun and shellac them and frame them and do art shows. And I got to be on like Fox News, and I even had Rachel Ray's show call me. And so it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Did not know all of that happened from that.
Was so much that the Eagles have one of my cookies hanging up. The Phillies have one. The Baltimore Orioles, like the Yankees, they all have my cookies. Yep.
Wow. But they can't eat them, right? I mean, they're shellacked.
They're creamed. I wouldn't recommend it.
Why would you eat that artwork, though? Yeah, for real. But yeah, so diverse with all the things she's created. I mean, I saw shoes there. What else can you add to that mix of things you might have created here?
I sew, I crochet, I sculpt, I paint. I've just gotten into some woodworking lately. Goodness, I can do a little bit of welding and soldering. I just took a glass making class, so that was pretty fun. Lots of stuff. I just love it.
I see picture there. You had Mark Anthony, and then I feel like there's another photo with Kevin Hart. There it is.
Wow.
So what did you make for them? These look like maybe tins of something.
Yeah, that was a collaboration with James Fudge in Seattle City. And we kind of did this concierge art where whoever was showing up and playing in Boardwalk Hall, we put together these tins, and James Fudge filled them up with, the celebrities' favorite little treats like popcorn. And I would paint the album covers or portraits or whatever for these celebrities. And besides them, I have the Eagles and the Who and Fleetwood Mac and Miranda Lambert. So yeah, it went pretty good for a while. It was awesome.
That's incredible. So what's next for you? I know that I know you have an Etsy page where some of your art is featured on there. What's the next step for Channyn into the art world? Like, what would you like to do next?
Well, I just moved and I got a new studio. So I'm going to start doing these, like, I'm going to call them open studio days, where I invite people to come in and see what I'm doing. And you can shop right from the source if you want to, or you can just hang out and watch, bring your kids. I'll give them a lesson, whatever it is. I love having people come in and see what's going on. And I love asking the questions, answering the questions. It's just fun. So I'm hoping starting on October 2nd that people will stop by and come into my shop.
Where's the shop located?
I'm on Hemlock Avenue in Linwood, New Jersey.
Gotcha. New Jersey. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Some of this artwork is incredible. Not just the cookies, but some of the detail that goes on in here. Right? And obviously, Ava mentioned that you were flexible with doing stuff on shoes and cookies and canvas. You're definitely utilizing your God-given talent to really make this thing work. And there's another old saying, they say pressure makes diamonds. So you were kind of put in that position, and look what grew out of that. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So did you ever get to meet any of these celebrities, Channyn, throughout all these tins and things like that? Anyone come to mind? We're kind of a celebrity theme tonight.
I met a couple of people here and there. I'm trying to remember who, but you're on the spot.
Yeah, didn't send the memo on that question. But cool.
There's some interesting stories I'll tell you later.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's very exciting. We grew up like right outside Atlantic City, really. So perfect place for art and culture, you would think. So definitely. So people can actually buy your artwork then, Channyn. You're doing an open studio and
on Saturdays, starting October 2nd, I'll have open my studio. People are welcome to come right in and, just hang out or shop around, whatever you want to do. So I'm hoping.
And where is the artwork displayed? Is it online as well for people who want to shop early? And then I did hear some people tell me they were interested in purchasing art, things like that out there. So I said, come tonight, and I'm sure you'll get direction in which way to go to purchase this stuff.
I'm terrible at posting things on social media. I'm bad at updating my Etsy page, but I'm going to try. I've been so busy. Honestly, I've been putting in maybe 60-hour weeks lately. So I've been busy. So there's a lot of stuff to see, but it's probably not all on my Etsy page right now, but it's coming, I promise.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get your contact information up there where they can reach out to you. I know you're on Instagram, Etsy, all those other places, Facebook.
Etsy, Facebook, absolutely.
What is your website? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Lawton.
I was going to say, there was a viewer question about, do you ever create sports logos, or can you do that, or do you do any graphic design type of work?
I do some graphic design. I did some logos for quite a while, and I love sports. I'm an absolute football junkie, baseball, hockey. I'm into it. I love it. Absolutely that Super Bowl was awesome. I got to do the Orioles for that. So, but I do graphic design too. Yeah.
See, good to know. There's one other question about, what do you think about all these competitive reality TV cooking shows? You mentioned, you got a call from Rachel Ray and whatnot. So what is your take on all of them?
I love them. I love shows. My dad's a chef, so I get into it, and absolutely. You continued the creative gene. I probably inherited it from your dad.
Oh, look, another great question. Mary Brenza says, what is your favorite medium to work with? Guess what materials?
I switch it up so often, and I name something, I use it, I work with it, but I think probably acrylic paints. I always go back to it. Some other stuff I set aside, and I might not touch it again for a year or so, but acrylic painting or oil painting is where my heart is. I love it. It's, stacks and stacks of paintings. If you come by, you can see them.
Goodness. Yeah, I tried that a little bit during COVID. I started dabbling in painting. It takes a lot of patience, I'll tell you what, when you're starting out fresh. But yeah, I mean, some of the work you've done, clearly you've been doing this most of your life. So
I have, absolutely.
Well, Channyn, we thank you so much for sitting in with us tonight. Follow Channyn on Instagram. She's got some pretty cool stuff on there. Check out her Etsy page, and the new store is coming October 2nd. Channyn Gallegos, thanks so much for coming to Hey That's Easy this evening.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me.
Channyn.
Bye, guys.
Great. Have a good night. Pretty talented individual there.
Yeah, I'm really blown away by just the scope of what she can do. I mean, just give her some materials. Give her a cookie. She'll make art.
Yeah. Artists, singers, musicians, those are things I can't do. Never been able to do them. And so I'm always impressed by any type of artistic endeavor like that. And boy, she's got a lot. I mean, she has a wealth of quite a repertoire, if you will.
Well, it's nice that you can recognize that talent in yourself and then foster that. I hope that inspires some people out there that have that raw talent to actually go out and give it a shot. Sometimes it doesn't start out easy, but if you keep at it, if that's your passion.
Hey, our next guest is kind of the same, very similar, great personality. He is a coach to many, whether it's personal training, life coaching, consultation. Let's introduce Dearic Jackson, aka Coach DJ. Welcome to Hey That's Easy, sir.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Doing great. I logged on earlier to do a little research on yourself on your LinkedIn, and there's just so many things listed that you do. And I was so impressed because I was like, this guy is a one-stop shop for a lot of different things. So what are you really passionate about? Is it the life coaching? Is it the more fitness? Where do you really zero in on?
They go hand in hand. I mean, I come from a background where everything's a process, everything's fundamentals. Being an athlete and veteran, it's the mindset. You can't do anything if you don't have a good mindset. You can't reach where you want to go without having the mindset, and then the body follows. So at the end of the day, that's really what it is. Mind and body connection. You can do anything.
Certified personal trainer. You have like mortgage consultant background. There's just all these different things. Have you had a moment where you've worked with someone and you knew that this is really what you should be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I was in the mortgage industry for many years, and then I've always been a coach. I mean, to my mindset, it's like people always come up and talk to you. You answer their questions, and after a while, it was just like I love helping people. I love serving people and pointing them in the right direction and helping them see that they are bigger than what they believe they are. And so when that light goes on, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to see people just be happy.
How do you motivate people, DJ? Because I know, I mean, I think I'm probably a little more motivated than most of my friends sometimes when it comes to working out. A lot of people have had a rough year with COVID. They've been home on their couches watching a lot of TV. And I mean, what kind of things can you say to get them moving? Do you appeal to their health?
Well,
do you
really,
appeal to their vanity? What gets someone moving? How do you get in their minds?
It's not easy. You know, it's really developing a belief in yourself and how powerful you really are just by the choices that we make. You know, we make choices every day, little things that we kind of take for granted. But at the end of the day, it's really about the choices that we make, and the more positive choices you make towards the things that you want to do, getting in alignment, having clarity, it comes easy after you really know yourself and what it is you want to do. Life turns easy.
Absolutely.
Were you an athlete at Utah State?
Yes.
What did you do there?
I played football there.
Great. And then, so did you do the military before or after?
After.
So wow, you just went right to school and then right into the military. How long were you in the military for?
I was only in the military 4 years. I was in the Coast Guard. I did search and rescue, and that's amazing. Any military lifestyle is wonderful. You learn so much, and you get to you meet family members. Well, now I call them family members, but brothers and sisters that you lock arm in arm in. And there's nothing better that helps you build more discipline outside of athletics.
Right, athletics, military, very, like you said, very structured, discipline. I'm guessing you've grabbed a few things over the time of those experiences to help your clients now.
Oh yeah, it becomes part of your DNA, especially when you love what you're doing. It really becomes part of your DNA, and to be able to express that and share that with people so that they kind of connect with that. It's like I said, it's an amazing feeling to get people to just show up and build their life the way that they want to, and not through somebody else's eyes or through somebody else's choices.
We've got a question from one of our viewers asking about what are some of the commonplace pitfalls you see people get in their mindset?
Fear and beliefs that they've had for years that necessarily, as they get older, don't pertain to them anymore. So really changing thought, changing mindsets. People are just real stuck into the way that they think. And that's hard when they want more, because inside they always want more than what they actually have. So getting them to believe that they can actually do it is the biggest challenge.
Yes. And Ruth said, thank you for your service. Absolutely, DJ. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
That's pretty amazing. So I imagine, can you appeal to people who maybe have had injuries? Your football background and military, is that a common occurrence where you get clients that have had injuries from sports and military and so forth? And do you have a good clientele base of that?
Yeah, when it comes to injuries, again, it's really mindset, because you've got to really beat the injury, because it can put you in a state of depression because it's so debilitating. But having that fight to come back and the mentality that, you want to get better and you want to do better really helps the body heal.
Mm-hmm.
You on your website, you mentioned something about a program that you can sign up to 30K in 30 days. So talk a little bit more about that, because that would kind of grab me a little bit.
Again, it goes back to the program is really a mindset and body program. But when you're talking about personality, we all want to live healthy and live longer, better lives. So you got to have a great mindset, but you also got to make some money. I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to live. I don't want to say high on the hog, but we all want to enjoy our lives and have opportunities to do things that we wouldn't normally do, but we dream about it. So creating a program that puts your mind in the right mentality, and then also offering a way for you to earn an income, they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Starts with the body and then the mind, and it's all connected, right?
All connected, yeah. What the mind says, the body will do. So got to work them together.
Yeah, when I work out, I know I don't always, but when I do, I feel like so energized compared to, when I stop, and I feel happier. And I think, it's absolutely tied together. And I'm seeing more, fitness and wellness programs that are incorporating the mind. So you're definitely ahead of the time thinking of those things. So that's pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
You're still working with folks virtually?
Yeah, everything is virtual right now. Both programs, the mentality program and the personal fitness program, they're all custom. Because everybody's different. Everybody has different needs and have different wants. I mean, everybody's body's different. Everybody's mindset's different. So there are some commonalities, but for the most part, it's all custom.
Excellent. You can reach out to Dearic on LinkedIn. He's got a LinkedIn page. You can definitely friend him on there. His website, www.dearicjackson.com. Just his name. Pretty simple. Dearic, is there any last words of advice for any of our viewers?
Oh, of course. I mean, one thing I just want everybody to know is that giving yourself permission to be happy and do the things you want to do is just the first step to success. Learn how to trust yourself, make yourself a priority, and value your time and yourself, and everything will fall into place.
Love it. You're definitely doing what you do, man. I love it. Thanks so much for coming on our show tonight.
Thank you,
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right.
Anytime. Thank you.
Take care.
Coach DJ.
Cool. What a cool guy.
Yeah, he's definitely out there doing what he likes, and utilizing those experiences, really drawing from them to help any of his clients. Yeah. Pretty awesome.
I could see him being very good at that, because he's just so easy to talk to, and he's so positive. I mean, you can tell he just loves what he's doing. He's happy doing it. He's passionate.
Yep, simple. Just follow him. Go to LinkedIn, check out his website, and then we just flashed his email address there. Reach out to him. Hey, I've worked with several coaches on LinkedIn, even during my relocation, just to, you pull different tidbits of information from everyone you talk to. It's great. So, and it helps you long term. You never know how much of an impact someone can have on you, even just from one conversation. So I would encourage anyone watching tonight to check out DJ. You can tell he's good people.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes you need some help, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that, because yes, you've got your health on the line, your mental health. There's a lot on the line if you just let yourself continue to decline. So I love that we feature a lot and all kinds of people that are able to help. That's our show. Hey, that's easy. And we do everything. And, we can always bring someone on the show. If you guys have suggestions for the show on what types of guests you'd like to see more of, we've certainly spotlighted a lot of people that are local heroes, doing good for the community, entrepreneurs that have been successful with something creative. So I know we have some exciting things coming up for Halloween too.
Yeah, I would encourage any of our viewers, if you know somebody personally and you think they would be a great guest, just reach out to us. We're happy to have them on the show or talk to them and see what type of episode that we're doing and where they best fit, because we love featuring these type of folks on TV all the time. These are stories that need to be told. So, well, Ava, we turn our attention now to our director, Dan Leach. We could not add him to the lineup, because he has the ultimate sports radio commentator voice. And really, if there's anybody that utilizes their talent to the fullest, it's him. So welcome from behind the virtual curtain, sir.
Hi, it's really good to be here. I enjoy talking sports. What's going on, my fine Hey That's Easy peeps?
Wakes us up.
We're all woke now.
You got to be woke, friends. No, and I love being involved with this show too. I mean, we started this, this is almost 10 months ago.
9 episodes.
You guys have done Yeah, 10. I think the first episode was about 10 months ago because you took the August off to let Lawton. Lawton actually, it was amazing. He, instead of getting moving trucks, he literally took all of his belongings and walked them down to Virginia. And I was very impressed. He took how many trips, Lawton? Like 490 trips?
Listen, it felt like even though I only made 2 trips, it felt like I walked it all down, let me tell you.
No, but you guys have done such an amazing job. And Lawton and me have been, very close for a long time. And Ava, it's been a pleasure to get to know you.
I'm a third wheel that you guys,
You're not the third wheel. You're the second.
Still,
you're the second and a half wheel.
All together.
Because I don't know enough about sports like you guys. You got to teach me. Somebody teach me.
You definitely know nothing about sports, but it doesn't take away from how great you are. But so for me, and I think that this show that you guys have put together, this really is the brainchild of you and Lawton. I'm just happy to be involved to help direct and be involved that way and beyond occasionally with you. But something especially that you guys have focused on throughout these various shows is helping others. And that's something that means, of course, we'll get into what I do for a living in a second, but I use that platform to help others. And I'm 10 plus years sober. I'll be 11 years sober in January. And I speak about that a lot. And I've done shows focused on that. And I've had people, humbly tell me I've saved their life. So I think what you guys are doing is such a beautiful thing. And it's something that means a lot to me because I try to do the same with the platforms that I have. And you've brought on such amazing guests and such amazing people that connect with other human beings, and especially during this pandemic. And I know, Ava, you mentioned during the pandemic, we're still in it. It's not going to be over for a while.
I know.
And people need to understand that connection and coaching and exercise and heart, mind, body, and soul is very important right now. And whether that's having fun listening to one of my shows, dealing with sports and hilarity for a minute, or watching something like this and talking to, hearing from a guy like DJ or Shannon and the art side of things or the coaching side of things. And you've had chefs on and you've had people that have, helped raise money for, children in need. So kudos to you guys for what you guys are doing.
Thank you, Dan. Labor of love here for sure.
Yeah, and the pandemic really, this came out of the pandemic. When you think about it, the whole StreamYard platform, think about 20 years ago in our business, Dan, when to do a show like this, you would have needed a studio with lights, and you would have needed, camera operators and directors and all these things. And now we can do all this stuff virtually with, some lighting and a webcam and an internet connection. It's incredible.
Well, think about this. And I don't know how much you guys or people watching, watch like Jimmy Fallon or Kimmel or whatever, even like cable news, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC forever. And I've been on, MSNBC and other news at CNN before. They never would have you on virtually. They always want to have a person there filming you, or I had to go when I was on MSNBC, I had to go down to NBC in Detroit. Yeah, I had Mitch Albom's driver. It was very fancy, but that was never the way it was. And now it's become not just acceptable, but a lot of times the better solution and easier to get guests that you could have had on in a TV studio or in front of you as the host on that show. And this is what the pandemic did. And it's done obviously a lot of great things, and it's done a lot of bad things, but more great than bad. It's brought kind of this digital streaming 5 years in the future to now. And, you mentioned I started a show as soon as the pandemic started called The Task Force, which Lawton, you've been a part of, and I've had such incredible.
Cool. I was on.
You were on for a minute.
For a second.
A lot of Detroit-centric guests, but a lot of national guests, porn stars, different announcers and things like that. And there's no way that, listen, she's local, get her lost. There's no way that would have happened 2, 3, 4 years ago. And if it would have been at a much lower quality of product. So I think it's another great way to reach people doing what you do, whether it's an artist like Shannon, whether it's a coach like DJ, whether it's broadcaster like me, or you with your Complex Xfinity stuff, Lawton, and Ava with her University of Phoenix stuff. It really is a way to connect to people, and it's more normalized now than it definitely was before the pandemic, and that's a good thing.
It is. I want to ask you too, because I may not know this story, although we've worked together for so long. Is what was the first moment you knew? Because you grew up liking sports. I know your dad's a big sports fan and whatnot. When did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
Probably that moment right there. Oh, classic Lutz and Leach.
I love it.
We'll get to that in a little bit. It's a great question, and I love when people ask, because I've done interviews on a lot of different shows and people will ask me that. And for me, I really thought I was going to be in the NFL. So I was like 15, which is ridiculous because I wasn't that great of a quarterback. But I always loved sports. My dad, being my hero, got me into sports at a very young age. He was the starting quarterback. Lawton, you and I have been doing the high school game of the week at WHMI. There's a picture of us. And this is the one from last week where we actually called my dad's alma mater, the Country Day Yellow Jackets, against a team that some thought wouldn't have a chance to win, and South Line beat them. And my dad played quarterback Country Day, played hockey, and was just an athlete much of his life. So I really got into sports at a young age. And my grandpa and father would take me to Michigan football and Detroit Lions games. And we had season tickets to the Pistons and went to Wings games and Tigers games. So I just always had loved sports from a very young age. And I think back to when I was probably 7 years old, and we're old enough, the three of us, but there's people that are watching that are much younger that might not remember they had this thing called the Star Studio where you could pretend you were the DJ on the radio. Like you would tape, you'd have a tape of a song like Michael Jackson Thriller. You'd be like, I'm Dan Leach, and this is Michael Jackson Thriller. Enjoy. This is a long distance dedication to my love of my life, Stacey Rothenberg. And I think that's kind of when it really started clicking. I was always a performer. I mean, even at a young age, before I was like, totally out of my shell, I really didn't come out of my super shell. I was always like hyper, but probably, late elementary, middle school is when I really just started, just wanting to talk to everybody and being that kind of a jovial person. But I think I knew then. And then as I got into high school, I started doing radio shows and PA for basketball when I was out east at Brewster Academy, and started doing stuff there that was leading to a broadcasting career. And then as soon as I got to college, I had my own radio show right away, and I was calling basketball and football games at Eastern Michigan on the student radio and TV station with Earl Boykins and Charlie Batch being the athletes back then that both went to the pros. So I was connected to the athletic department then at both Michigan and Eastern Michigan where I went. And I just really, I knew. I know a lot of my friends, like I remember a lot of my girlfriends were like kinesiology majors at Michigan. And like, yeah, it's great. I mean, you do a lot of things with kinesiology, but they did that because they didn't know what they wanted to do. And I don't want to say I felt bad for them, but there was a lot of my friends that didn't know. And I always knew. And the question was for me, as I've kind of alluded to, that I had some personal struggles throughout my life. Could I get out of my own way? And much of the time I did. Sometimes I didn't. And luckily, where I'm at now at 44 years old and just launched a new show and have worked at one of the best radio stations sports-wise in the country for 8-9 years at 97.1 The Ticket, and have done national stuff and covered Super Bowls and Final Fours and interviewed major athletes and celebrities and met presidents. I couldn't be more grateful and lucky. And I could have been one of, unfortunately, a lot of my friends and family members, a stepbrother being one and an uncle being one and some other friends being others, and a lot of people that I've just met throughout the years. I could be dead right now because a lot of them have passed away from overdoses and suicide, and that could have been me. So I take every day, and Lawton, this, David, you've gotten to know this. I live every day to the fullest. There's some days where I do 7 things. I'm at 7 different events in one day. I don't care. Sleep's overrated anyway. I love sleep, but I don't need it. And now I'm doing it totally sober. So problems, right? Diet Mountain Dews and Monsters. So yeah, it's just, I'm very lucky. I just got a call from an old family friend today who's got a nephew that is out in Hollywood doing like film editing stuff, but wants to get involved in broadcasting or in sports stuff. And I know that there's been a lot of people that have reached out to me throughout the years, and I'll always help them in any way I can. But the reason I bring that up is because I know how lucky it is to do what I do. There are thousands and thousands, probably millions of people that A, want to do what I do, and B, think they can do it better, but then they realize that it's not as easy as it looks. But yeah, I'm very lucky. And I never take that for granted. And Lawton, you know this, and we get to call games together every week now on a big radio station, and the big high school football games between rivals and stuff. And you're doing a hell of a job, and we're doing it with our man Ryan Woolley, used to work with me in 97.1, and our good man Rich Renko. And I know how blessed and lucky we are to do what we do, and I never take that for granted for 1 second.
And Rich Renko, for those who don't know who he is, previously at 97.1 The Ticket, but he was part of the initial launch of Mike and Mike in the Morning on ESPN, and he's been around. And so this is an interesting story. He just told us after the first couple of games that one of his proudest moments in radio is building what he has at this small family-owned station that reached out to Dan and I to announce these games. And we built this thing from the ground up, and it is just, it's been a huge success so far. I'm of course going back to Michigan on the weekends here and there and doing these things.
Walking. Well, look, Ava, he walks back to Michigan. It's
all
crazy.
Those bags, right?
You know what? He actually you took an extra.
I gotta walk my furniture down to something, right?
One time you took an exercise bike back to Michigan. I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Flash the old school picture from 2010 of us. I have to tell our viewers this story because I think it's so powerful. So there's a lot in that photo, and so that photo was one of the first games that we did for just a local media outlet in Lansing, Michigan. We were calling a semi-pro football game, and I was tasked initially with producing the whole broadcast. And I had met Dan about maybe a year or two prior, and we had talked about how we had both kind of dabbled in broadcasting and done a few things. And I needed a play-by-play announcer, so I said, Dan, we gotta hire you. And I told him, I was like, listen, it doesn't really pay a whole lot. I think it paid $50 or $100 maybe. And Dan was willing to do it. We had a blast with it. And I know that he utilized some of that audio and video to be able to have his agent pitch 97 won the ticket and ended up doing him some good. And so years later, if you flash up the recent pic of us at the high school football game, this is a full circle thing. It really, Danny, he knew I was moving, and he said, "Listen, I got this high school football gig. We got to do this." There's a picture of us with Ryan Woolley, who used to be part of the 97.1 crew too. He's now, I think, the sports director at WHMI. They never had that before. It was a classic rock station, and now the sales manager is now. We're doing remotes, as you can see there. So this thing has come full circle. And Danny was like, "Hey man, I don't want to do this to anybody else." And I said, well, I got events that I got to get back to Michigan for. I'll be there every weekend. So let's just do it. Why not put a little bit more on the Thanksgiving plate, right?
Wow.
So
that's so cool that you guys got to work together on that. I mean, high school football is big, especially in some states.
We've had some huge.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we get paid really well to do it too. So shout out to Rich again.
Yeah, by the way, we got more than a couple $100 for Capital City. I don't think I would have done it for 50. I mean, I would have done it for free. But I think Dad took care of us.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I mean, it's probably 5 times.
It wasn't what we're getting now. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I always tell broadcasters, that might have not, because I think you have to have, going back to what DJ said, you have to have the right mindset about broadcasting.
Right.
It's one of those things where you gotta love what you do to do it, because it's not. You don't always get the highest paying gigs, and those that do, they don't leave those gigs because there are very few. And then sometimes you can say, oh, I did this and that, and it sounds really impressive to people, but you probably didn't get paid that much. And then we're doing this high school football broadcast where, I mean, I remember sitting in the boardroom and they were telling us what they were going to pay us. And I was like, really? Like I was, pleasantly surprised. So,
well, and just to put a point on that. So you mentioned, you asked me to do it years ago, which of course meant a lot to me, because at that point I've always had my, I told a little bit of my personal story that I've had issues with drug addiction in the past. And I always had my hand in broadcasting. Even when I was in college, when I was still at Eastern, I had 2 shows, like not student shows. I had a student show too, but I had 2 shows. One that was on like 20 different stations throughout Michigan when I was like a junior and senior, and one that was on locally in like Metro Detroit. So like I was doing it right away. I mean, I always had my hand in things, but I'd gone through kind of a rough period of time. I'd moved back home. I think that was 2010 or so, whatever, around that period of time. And you reached out to me and asked me to do that. I remember my parents came to a game, I brought my sister, and it was just a great way for me to kind of, because play-by-play is one of my main goals and dreams and loves. And it was a great way to kind of, get myself really back into things. And then when this came back up, I mean, it was sad that you had to move. I mean, I'm very happy for you because you got a great promotion and deserved it. But Lawton's one of my best friends. And the first one I thought of was Lawton, because he got me, he gave me an amazing opportunity to get myself back in the fold when I'd been going through some rough times. Not that Lawton's going through rough times now, but he was the first person I thought of. I mean, it was the first call I made. And it worked out great where Lawton's doing most of the games and our friend Ryan's filling in when he can't be there. And Ryan got to executive produce this thing and is able to do updates for them now because he had things were rough. A lot of people got laid off during the pandemic and he was one of those casualties, not because of performances. That's the way it is. And whether it's Rich or Ryan or you or our man StatWiz Steve, who does our statistics, an intern for us. We have this incredible broadcast crew, great salespeople that set up everything. It's been incredible, and I'm honored and grateful to do it with you.
Yep, and for those that don't know, my dream in life was to be Pat Summerall.
To be a DJ.
I mean, I'm a pretty good DJ, right? But I wanted to always be. I wanted to do play-by-play or color commentary. I wanted to be in the booth at some game, and it's kind of ironic that a lot of times they say you sometimes you have to give up on your dreams to help others achieve theirs, and then so now this is kind of coming, like I said, full circle, and I'm still able to do what I really thought I was meant to do and what I really feel passionate about, and it's so great. I mean, I'm not meeting Johnny from the Karate Kid. I'm not like
no, you're not
or anything, but again, we're having an impact where we're at.
Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich.
Hey, by the way, if I may
talk about this, Ava. What was going on here? This is pretty cool.
Well, I'm not as cool as you guys meeting all these athletes, and you guys. Wow, I went to Monster Mania in Cherry Hill. Yes, my friend Mary. We should actually have her on the show one of these days because she's done so many of these conferences. They're like horror movie conferences. It's kind of cool. A little scary because of COVID and the pandemic and everything, but these celebrities are walking around and you can take photos with them. And this guy was just very nice. William Zabka, I believe. And he let me take several pictures with him because I didn't like the one. And he was just so nice. He was friendly, conversational. That was pretty exciting. And they were all really nice. So I have a little celebrity, what do you call it? When you get like kind of, you can't talk when you meet
anxiety,
you don't know what to say. I was like, come here often.
Right, that's awesome. You should have said sweep the leg. If
If I may, I want to throw this up here. And Lawton always looks good, but that is a good-looking, medium-aged Squatch right there. It's a good-looking guy.
Yes. You guys look so cute back in the day, by the way. Look at that. You haven't aged a day. Not a day. Monster Mania rules. Yep, that's right.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
No, I guess I'll take your word too. But you got to sweep the leg. You got to sweep the leg. Did you ask him about sweep? Right. I bet you even watched Karate Kid. Did you ask him about sweeping the leg?
I didn't. I've never watched. Apparently, there's another show he does now.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. It's amazing.
And I was able to watch a couple episodes after that because I was curious.
Now, Ava, I got to ask this. You said they're just walking around. I thought that you have to pay for those photos.
Yes, but they are walking around and they are at booths. They have booths. And you just go up to them.
I just want people not to get the wrong idea that they're just going to walk in.
Take photos and Mary was kind enough to let me get in that other photo because I did not actually even know they were there. Yeah, she let me jump in there and they were also very kind.
What is Eliza wearing there?
It looks like a
Medusa
hat. That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's all ready for Halloween. Yeah.
Ready to roll.
That is my favorite holiday, Halloween. So just know I'm going to play that up. But no, Dan, I mean, everything you were saying, I really think like some of the causes that helping people with addictions and all of that, we've just lost so many people and the count just keeps going. So that's really actually a cause I'd really love to help out in the coming years because it shouldn't happen anymore the way it does.
I appreciate that. And then
so
one thing I'll say.
Thank you for speaking on that and speaking out. And there's not, get rid of the stigma. That's what I always say.
Well, that's just what I was going to say. I was going to say that's the key. I mean, there's one thing without getting deep into it. You get destigmatized things. And I work with a charity called NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness. NAMI Metro is the chapter here that I'm really in touch with closely with my friends Tony and Leanne Judd and Mary Ellen and many others. We do big golf outings, skins and pins, and all these different events. And their whole motto is stigma stinks. And if we can destigmatize, what people think that it's not okay to ask for help and that it's not okay to not be okay, we can let people know that it is. And I do that whenever I can. That's going to save a lot of lives.
100%.
No joke. Yeah, 100% there for sure.
Well, we know your favorite holiday is Halloween, Ava. So we got a nice show coming up in October. I think we
sure.
should Halloween theme it without question. But we want to definitely start by asking those that are our viewers, if you do have recipes, we are going to do our Thanksgiving episode again, where we're going to showcase different items, different food items you can offer at your Thanksgiving table. That was a really great thing last year. So many videos were sent in, and we were able to kind of chop them up and kind of showcase them. We're going to do that again. We'll have more on the October show of how you can do that. But at this point, you can reach out to our email address, heythat'seasy@gmail.com. That's perfect. If you have videos, get in touch with me or Ava or Danny, or even just go on to our Facebook site and let us know. We'll connect with you. We want all that you got. You know, if you've got something creative, something different that you do, we definitely want
bring it.
Yeah, we'll post some more information. Actually, we're going to be posting some more information about it. So about the, what to enter, how long, all those details too. So we look forward to it.
I got 2 treats for you guys. You ready? I got one treat. Is a shameless plug because I do have a brand new show.
No.
It's going great. I do have pictures of Ava that I'm going to show her today. But no, I do have a brand new show that just started a couple weeks ago called the Detroit City Cast via VEASAN. Our good friends at Bet Rivers are sponsoring it. We talk a lot of Detroit sports, Michigan State, and all the betting angles for those that participate. But please download it, like it, rate it, review it. It's on all Apple, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you get your podcast. It's been a lot of fun. Lutz will be making an appearance at some point soon, so get that done. All right, but are you ready for some classic Dan Leach? We got to, to end this September show, we got to have a little fun here. And Lawton, I think you were in the building for this. Were you not? This viral, historic Detroit Titans call that I made on the Sports Center with. Weren't you? I
was. I didn't hear the call because I was working. I think I was working PA at the time on the side of the court. But this received national attention, if I'm not mistaken, on ESPN.
Yeah, let me just set this up. So I think a lot of people that are watching know who Juwan Howard is. He's a Fab Fiver and now the incredible head basketball coach at Michigan, which Lawton is very upset about because Izzo is not as good anymore and Howard's better. And we have top 5, top 2, top 1 recruit classes. But his son was on the Detroit Titans team. I call Detroit Titans basketball. They play in the Horizon League. If people don't know who they are, if they're from out of state watching, Dick Vitale coached there years ago. They had a guy named Ray McCallum, and Ray McCallum Jr., his son, that won a Horizon League title and went to the tournament. There's a lot of history at Callahan Hall. So Juwan Howard Jr., his son, played on this team, and they were playing a game on, speaking of Halloween, Friday the 13th against Cleveland State, and the Titans were down late by 2. And this is what happened. And as you said, Lon, I was very humbled. This was on SportsCenter for like 14 straight hours. But this is how it transpired.
Detroit from the Horizon League. Trey Lewis at the line looking to put Cleveland State up 3 with 13 seconds to go.
And it's no good. Jenkins has it. Bit of a break here as Lewis almost fell down. There's Howard Jr. to Wilson. Will the Titans try to win the game? Howard Jr. right wing 3, good if it goes, and it does! Split splash, he's taking a bat! Howard Jr., that shot was taken from across the Canadian border. Are you kidding?
So there you go. That was something. I mean, it was so cool. And there was actually more to the clip that they played on another edition of SportsCenter because I said something like he stuck the knife in the back of Jason Voorhees, the guy with the mask from Friday the 13th, character. And it was cool because I had friends that were like out in LA and Arizona and Texas and wherever, Chicago. And they, like SportsCenter is starting to do that thing where they show you what's coming up. And like the little chyron, if people know the parlance on the left where it says, Tigers, Rays, or whatever's coming up. And for 14 straight hours, it said Detroit goes splish splash, which was my signature, 3-point call. Splish splash, he's taking it back. And I had friends from all over the country calling me and texting me. And that was one of the finest moments of my career so far. I mean, it's just a highlight, but to make SportsCenter as a play-by-play guy and have your voice be on there for, 14 straight hours was pretty awesome.
Once again, that voice. Doing what you do. You just fell into it, man.
So melodic. That's really cool, though.
You guys got the looks. I got the voice.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Well, to all our viewers, please share our episode from our YouTube page. Like us on Facebook. Watch out for our next episode in October coming up. To all of our viewers, supporters, and guests, we thank you so much. We're humbly grateful. For Ava, I'm Lawton and Dan. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Hey That's Easy.